Faith Odhiambo may be facing perhaps the toughest storm yet in her tenure as LSK President. Her decision to take up a government appointment on the protests victim compensation panel in a personal capacity has not only split opinion within the legal fraternity, but also triggered threats of impeachment.
Well, I took on the position of the Law Society, noting the challenges that it has and my desire of where I wanted to leave the Law Society. I always come to members with my true concern to serve them, and that is the kind of person Faith will always be. And so the members will judge me by what I have done and the work that I continue to do. And mine is not an issue of fearing. If it's fear, of course, there are people who never wanted me in office. There are people who have not been happy with the work that I've been doing. And we have faced threats and we have faced much more. And even council members have gone through a lot this entire period since we started the work that we have been doing as the Law Society.
Part of the criticism directed at her is that the panel replicates the mandate of the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, yet Odhiambo maintains the two institutions complement each other, saying she has worked closely with the Commission during the protests, including documenting alleged abuses.
I've worked closely with Kenya National Commission of Human Rights. I support them wherever I can. I advocate that they should be given more funding to actually do their work. I've seen situations that their cars are literally grounded, and just the sheer frustration that that institution goes through to just try and leave its mandate. And there's that realization of that gap that fine, they give the recommendations, but what happens next?
Beyond the commission, she points to the Law Society's active involvement in dozens of court cases arising from police excesses, from the killing of baby Pendo to the recent case of Rex Masai.
When we look at the judiciary side, which everyone says, let's go to judiciary, and we are. However, the problem that we suffer is the slow turning pace of the judicial system. I don't know whether to say it's because of numbers or by virtue that it's not limited in statute, but when you see cases running for years, baby Pendo is going to its 10th year and plea taking was only taken this year after immense pressure.
But even as the cases drag in court, Odhiambo argues the government must be held to account in real time, not just decades later when judgments are finally delivered.
Of course, we will continue to push, but when an opportunity or a window opens that we can try and hold government accountable, because this is an opportunity to make government acknowledge and accept the state had a responsibility to these people. You have failed in that responsibility. This is not a favor to Kenyans. This is a responsibility that they're honoring because they have failed in the duties that they ought to give to the people. You have a social contract.
Her critics have also accused her of double standards, having rejected an invitation to join a government task force meant to audit the country's debt, only for her to join another government panel months later. These are charges she flatly rejects, insisting she has stayed within her constitutional mandate.
I don't believe I have double standards. When we looked at the debt, public debt, in fact, that was totally within the realm of the Auditor General, and she can even set up a task force and bring in members of the public. It's within her direct purview. However, I'll submit myself to the court's decision. We are officers of the court, and when the court pronounces itself, we abide by the court orders.
Still, Odhiambo admits the controversy has forced her to weigh her next steps, carefully torn between defending victims, protecting the Law Society's unity, and leaving behind a legacy she can be proud of.
I'm making my considerations in light of the Law Society is bigger than Faith Odhiambo, and also the interests of Kenyans are bigger than my interests. And of course, we at the end of the day, I'd want to live with my head held high, that I did my best to protect the rule of law. I fought for Kenyans when they need me, and I also stood up for the victims when they needed me, that I didn't also brush them aside.
For now, Odhiambo maintains her focus is firmly on completing her term and strengthening the Law Society, even as speculation swirls that her role on the panel could be a springboard to future national or political assignments.
There are a few things that I haven't done that I'd set out in my manifesto. Our Gitanga Road offices are still not the best, and that's where I wanted us to start that journey of us developing our property to mirror that we are the premier buyer in the region. We still we're looking at threats to changing of the constitution, and those may raise up into other BBI cases in this country, and so we are watching closely.
David Muthoka, NTV, Nairobi.